All right. What a problem that I had hours ago to go live. So, what is going on? I am hours and hours late. Uh so so be it, right? You can watch the replay. Hope everybody's doing well. Welcome to my channel. If you don't know who I am, I don't know. Name is James Bonadis. I'm all about the agency life, the middleman business. And so what I want to do in this video is I kind of want to go through the video I posted yesterday. It was 12 hours long. And yeah, those long videos, I don't know. I don't know how I feel about those long videos. It's just one of those things where people tend to love them or absolutely hate them. Now, don't forget, you could always put a live chat in here while I'm talking. You could ask some questions if you want. But I'll be here. I'll be on here for the next 20 to 30 minutes. So one of the things, actually, I wanted to chat about is, people always talk about secrets, right? What's the secret to success? What is the secret to building a 10,000 a month agency, a 50,000 a month agency? Hell, what's the secret to, I don't know, ecom? What's the secret to being a CEO? What's the secret to building a $100 million business, right? And so I always thought it was funny because there is no secrets. There's roadmaps. There's like processes that a lot of people where they go wrong is that they look at an outcome of what they want, and then everything before that, the framework, the roadmap, the blueprint, right? They don't want to do all the things that you gotta do to get there, right? Even though, and I heard somebody when I was in an MLM called Primerica back in the day, and I mean, I'm talking like high school, where I was like literally recruiting college kids. I had like 40 recruits under me, whatever you guys want to call them, downlines or whatever. And I learned so much about the finance world because if anybody doesn't know, Primerica was, and by the way, there's a reason why I'm telling these stories. Primerica was, it's a financial services company. And, I think it's very similar from my understanding to, who's that guy? PBN, they call him, I don't know. I can't remember his name off the top of my head. Similar to that, right? So I come in and I learn how to sell mortgages and life insurance and stuff like that. And then I bring somebody in and then they learn and I get like an override for them. But one of the things that I actually learned was when I was there for like a year or two, and I went to think about this in college, right? And I was I was the president of my fraternity, and we would have Friday night parties, and I would never miss the Saturday meeting. It was near like Colts Neck, New Jersey. I went to Rutgers, and I would never miss that Saturday meeting ever. And I don't know why actually. Thinking back of like I think I was enamored with they call them the president, the vice president of the office. I knew he made over $1 million a year. And he was this little tiny guy, bald. Matter of fact, back then they would smoke. Him and his wife would smoke in the office until he got a heart attack and then he quit. And Jim Penn was his name. And man, he just would spit such fire just about business and life and things like that. And I remember, I don't know if it was summer break, and I came back and I drove I was like an hour from there. I sometimes Saturdays I drive down there and still, attend the meetings. But one summer I was gone for like maybe I was gone for like 6 months. I started going back again after winter break. And I would look up at the whiteboard and it was literally the same people. And I'd look around and I'd be like, man, these people over the last 2 years showed up every single Saturday during the week, Wednesday nights, and they just showed up. But that's all they did. They just showed up. Like they were never on a leaderboard years later. And it was always the same people on the leaderboard and nobody else, and me as a kid, I sold some life insurance policies, right? Got my license. I learned about term insurance versus whole life. I bought into all that stuff. And then eventually it kind of went away. Like it is what it is, right? You move past it. And one of the things that this guy said, and I want to kind of get it right, and so I'll think about the wording of it, but it was a very big factor that I brought into just any business. And by the way, for all you guys out there that are going to watch probably this replay, and maybe you're young, and I see so many young successful people in their mid 20s. I can't even imagine if I had my work ethic in my 20s in the online space. Like I can't even imagine. Matter of fact, it's probably better that my why wasn't to go out and party and spend money and things, because I don't know what would have happened to me. But if I had this opportunity back then, I would take full advantage of it. And where I think a lot of people get stuck in this is two things. People get stuck with not wanting the framework because the framework is too hard, even though the process is so easy, but all the work in between that is required of this framework. For example, one of the big pieces in building any business is prospecting. People don't want to prospect. People don't want to knock doors. People don't want to cold call. And I've learned so many sayings from that MLM world. And one of the things, that I remember Jim saying after I said to him, I go, man, Jim, this is kind of depressing. It's like years go by and it's just the same people on the board doing the same numbers on the board. And he said, yeah, he's like, two things happen. He's like, sometimes you get lucky and you get that trip, that free trip. Maybe you landed 2, 3 of your friends that bought some insurance. You get this trip and you go on this vacation, and you're impressionable enough that when you get a cold towel when it's 100 degrees out delivered to you, and then they bring you these strawberries that are the size of grapefruits, and you take that bite of the strawberry. And some people get addicted to the luxury of it, and their drive comes from the luxury that vehicle can give them, and that's where their motivation comes from. Now, obviously, you have the other side of it, which was where I came in, which was like, man, I got a mortgage, I got taxes, I got I'm gonna, at the time my son was, let's see, 14 to 9, 2009. I took a big risk in 2009 when my son was born, and then that didn't work out, but it gave me enough money to put a down payment on a house. So that was like the risk that I took that gave me a reward to have my own house with my family. And then my daughter was born June of 2017. So my wife was pregnant. And I'm like, I gotta have 2 kids on basically a teaching salary. Like, this ain't gonna work. And so the motivation and urgency that's the word I'm looking for. And the urgency was there at the timing and the moment of my life. Now, I could have found other motivation if I actually tried to. And so a lot of people are missing the motivation. They're content, and they're missing that motivation, um with just like that forces you to do the crap that you don't want to do. Like, prospecting ain't fun. It's not fun. But within this framework, it's funny because, you have, I don't feel like pulling it up, but within this framework, by the way, I hope you guys can hear me. Can you guys hear me? Oh, okay. You're responding, so I guess you can hear me. But it's like, let's say step one is, okay, pick your niche, right? Or we talk about that all the time. Let's just say even though I recommend when starting an agency, you don't pick a niche and you go after immediate opportunities. And I say that with a very strong, like, I want to like hit you over the head. Okay. Or like, what are they doing it in Italian? They like flick you in the back of the head. in Italy? Because when you're starting a business, you should be taking every opportunity that you get that crosses, even if you don't know what the hell you're doing. That's where free trials come in. Anyway, let me stay on what I'm saying. So here we've been teaching for a very long time in the agency space a framework that literally works. It works. I don't care who you are. Now, you may not work, but the framework, the roadmap, it works. Okay, it's been proven thousands of times just within my community, not to mention all the other people out there that teach this business. I mean, you land like you pick an itch. Like if you really think about it, you pick an itch or take the opportunities that come your way. You prospect, you give them a free trial, you do your very best on that free trial, you get them results, you ask them for money, and then you do even better results. And then you get the case study and you use the case study to market your agency. Boom. Oh my God, James, it's you're making it sound so easy because it is easy, but you don't want to prospect. You don't want to go through the hour it's going to take you to, or hour, the 5 minutes it's going to take you to post on your personal Facebook profile because you're too embarrassed, even though you can segment all your friends and family out of that and then post. I go through all of this stuff on this channel, but nowhere in the framework does it say pick a niche, and if you don't, you're screwed. Meaning, if you can't pick a niche, this business won't work for you. It doesn't say that in the framework. Okay, prospecting, right? I'm going to prospect. Nowhere in the framework does it say prospecting for the rest of your life or you're screwed. It doesn't say that because you don't need to prospect forever. If you do what I tell you to do a great job for a business, and then you get them on a camera holding their phone, or you go into their shop and you hold it. Hey, dude, can you do me a favor and just, did you get results with me? Do you recommend other people to use me? Awesome. Boom. Facebook ad, $5 a day around the local area. It doesn't say prospect forever or you're doomed. It doesn't say you have to pick a niche now or you're doomed. It doesn't say if I go to close somebody on a free trial and you think you're so confident and they say no, you're doomed forever. Right? It's a numbers game. It doesn't say that if I do land a client and they give me money and I completely and totally screw it all up and they get zero results and they tell me I'm horrific, that now your life is doomed, which has happened to me many of times, right? In the beginning. Matter of fact, it's happened to me even with a thriving agency where we just could not get results. And a big problem that people have is that they want to have all of their ducks in a row. And, if everybody had all of their ducks in a row before they decided to have a child, there would be no population left on this earth. Life doesn't work this way. Okay. And so, like Kevin asked, appreciate it, Kevin, by the way. How long do you recommend learning the software before reaching out to clients? I would reach out to clients before I even know the software. Now, you have to understand what are you going to offer. You need to understand the business. You need to have some sort, I'm not going to walk into a restaurant as a chef and not know how to cook pasta, right? You got to know something. But the best teacher is the action. You're never going to learn the whole software before you can take the action. Yeah, you learn as you earn, you learn as you go. You fall on your feet, on your face, you get back up and you keep learning. Hence why when you're first starting, everybody should be doing free shit. I'm not allowed to say that on YouTube. Anyway, everybody should be doing free stuff because that's where you learn. So I always find it funny where it's like, people will pay $3,000, $7,000, whatever, to learn a business model. And then, so they reach in his pocket to learn it. And then they go to make some money and they're like, I'm not doing free work. It's like, yo, you just paid to do a boatload of learning, which is work. You paid out of your pocket, and you don't want to just continue to learn and not even have to pay out of pocket with the opportunity to actually make money. It's not costing you anything but time. It's all about perspective. So one of the things was like motivation can come from, internally family and as well as like I want a Lamborghini. Some people build $1 million businesses because they literally want to buy a Lamborghini. Who cares? Whatever your motivation is, you need to go and find it. Then you need to understand that nothing within the frameworks of a business model is forever because eventually you could hire people that are much better than you. So nothing is forever. The pain is not going to be forever. And if you know that the pain is not going to be forever, then you can what ends up happening is you get blind, you have these blinders on that when it's like going to a gym, right? The first 2 weeks suck. You're sore. You can't move. You fall off the wagon and drink on the weekend, but you promised yourself you wouldn't. But then you get back in the gym. And then all of a sudden you look in the mirror and you're like, man, I actually look a little bit different. But the first 2 weeks suck. But you somehow got through those 2 weeks. You put in the work. You got a little bit of gains. And now your motivation is through the roof. Now the next 2 weeks gains is like now you're pushing hard and you're not even sore anymore. Now you're like, I'm going to eat well. I'm going to skip this weekend and going out. You guys get it. But another thing that I learned back in the MLM days was this guy used to always say to us, imagine somebody handed you a contract and the contract said, if you do X, Y, and Z for 90 days, at the end of the 90 days, you will have a $10,000 per month business. All you need to do is these things. Would you care how horrifically horrible those things? I mean, obviously, I don't mean like doing bad things. I mean, like, make 50 phone calls a day, right? I would never do that. Like, literally would never do that, by the way, because there's much better ways. That brings me to Super Saiyan Society. Do you get most of your clients through cold emails or email marketing? No, not any. I mean, I never did. Okay, so some people may think this is cold, but it's not. I used to just do leads in advance. I would pick a business on the second or third page. Let's call it a towing company, limousine company, plumber, electrician. I actually think on one of my YouTube videos I showed you. I actually did it live somewhere, where I showed you the email that I sent. And all I did was like get up a quick 2-page site that was the elite. We call it we call a landing page and an opt-in page, a landing page and a thank you page. And typically this works really, really well for like emergency services. Tow truck companies would be an emergency service. And I would run Google ads. I spend like $10, $15 a day, maybe 30, $40 a day. And the lead would come in. If they called, it would get forwarded to the person's business. And then I'd have a whisper that says, free lead from James Bonadies, please hold. And then I'd call them up or send them a quick email, like after like 3 to 5 leads. And then I'd be like, hey, my name is James Bonadies. And almost every time they'd be like, what? Like, this is confusing. I've heard your name through these things. What are you doing? And then I would just go right into the pitch. I have an overflow of leads. I can continue to send them to you if you'd be interested. And it's not going to cost you anything now, but you got a little bit of a taste of it. And by the way, I moved it from that into paid, because the free trial came prior, right? And people would say yes or they'd say no. And if they said no, I'd be like, no problem. I'd go to ABC Towing down the street. You okay with that? Yeah. Someone would say, yeah, I don't care, and hang up the phone. Cool. But my conversion rate, and by the way, I'm going back to the beginning, right? I'm going back to like once you establish your agency, it comes to you. And so what the hell was I saying? Anyway, so I wouldn't do any cold stuff. Now, I actually hired my editor or my thumbnail guy from a cold email, right? And by the way, I get hundreds of them. I have no idea why I opened this one, and I have you know what he did? He used he name dropped, a big YouTuber that I know the name of, and I to this day, he might have been lying, but I recognized the name in the subject line, and it made me open it, and then he had his portfolio there, and it was all this guy's thumbnails. Again, he could have probably pulled them off and been lying, but he does a decent job, so it didn't really matter. But anyway, I get hundreds of code emails, and I happen to open one, but, you know, it works. It's a volume game. It's a you gotta it's a very big volume game. The best cold email strategy is personalized lines. That is the best. Meaning you literally want to land this HVAC company and you go to their LinkedIn and you find out a little bit about them, and then it's a personalized line, and then in the body it's like, hey, I noticed that you're into karate. Checked out your LinkedIn. That's awesome. My son loves karate. Um, you know, it strengthens and whatever. You say some nice thing, and then you say, hey, listen, and then you give a result of a past client, or you just say, hey, listen, I'm giving away free trials to local business in the area. I live in the area. Or I've just started this business, and I love to give you some free work so I can get my feet wet. It's not going to cost you anything. The worst thing that can happen is you're going to get a few results, maybe land a client from it, and if you do, great. Maybe we can move forward with it. If not, no hard feelings. Like, these are conversations that you should be having. Um, and it's all about the numbers. It's all about the repetition. And now I remember what I was actually saying. No, I don't remember. I keep losing this train of thought of finishing this thing. Oh, contract. So if you had this contract that was a guarantee, and then in 90 days, every single person would do everything in their power, even if it was 7 days a week, 6 hours a day, 10 hours a day. Obviously, you can't, right? But I bet you some of you would be up all night long because the contract said if I do X, Y, and Z in 90 days, 10 grand a month in business. And if I make 10 grand a month, I could leave this job that I hate, I can't stand. It'll give me freedom. I can go on vacation. I could buy a new car. My wife, maybe I could have her stay home and watch the kids. Again, whatever your whys are, whatever your life is, whatever the reasons are, is you can insert into that. Everybody would do it. Everybody would. If you know, if you go to the gym for 90 days and you're guaranteed to lose 30 pounds and put muscle on, the contract says it, you would do it. And the best thing about that, if you're able to put it in perspective, is that if you actually did it, even half of what a contract could look like, which you can make with yourself, by the way, in 90 days, you're going to be so far ahead of what you were prior that you can never go back because you can't unlearn all of the things you learned in those 90 days. That I don't know who said this, but I'm an old guy, so I've been around a long time. So I've heard a lot of refurbished refurbished sayings. And one of one of the things that is a very popular thing is, people tend to move away from pain, right? And the only way that they can move away from pain is to fill their time with something else. But they don't realize that by moving away from the pain, they're actually moving away from their goals, they're moving away from their dreams, and they are going to continue to live in that pain that they're currently in forever until they actually say, you know what, I'm going to step through it and I'm just going to do it. What's the saying? What is that saying? Oh, don't delay pain for future. Don't delay pain for future pleasure. No. Don't delay. Don't delay future pain. Yes. Don't delay future pain for present pleasure. Let me write that in the chat. Let me see if it makes sense visually. Don't delay. I feel like it should be the opposite. Don't delay future pain for present pleasure. Let me see if that's right. Let me Google that puppy. I'm never going to find this. I don't know. If anybody knows that, drop it in the comment. Don't delay future pain for present pleasure. I'm totally killing that one. Anyway, I'll have to find out what that is. But yeah, and so, that's what we all do. I do it myself, even to this day, right? One of the big things I'm trying to do is build my YouTube channel, and it is very, very, very painful. 10:30 at night, should be home, right? But I say that I'm gonna go live, even though I'm hours late, and I was like, let's go live. And actually, once you do it, right, that action removes the pain and actually gives you that pleasant feeling of like, all right, I accomplished it. And I'm not getting paid for this. Nobody's paying me anything for this. But I know it's one of the necessary steps, to take YouTube channel to the next step. Now, funny enough, a cool thing that I'm doing with my oh my god. Is that I just posted. So what I'm doing on this channel as well, since some of you are here, 12 of you are here, and if you're watching the replay, I'm actually going to be posting one-on-one hot seats with other agency owners that they're going to jump on, and I'm going to go through their business, and I'm going to find out what they're doing wrong, and I'm going to help them fix it. Whether that be scaling, whether that be landing clients, whether that be charging enough money, high ticket. And I'm going to always be following this framework that I talk about on every single freaking video on this channel because the framework works. It works. And one of the actual cool things here is 10 of you are still here. So kudos to you. This is live, Mr. Hung Low. Mr. Hung Low, I don't know if I could take your comments very serious because you're hung low, not high. But is that the third major pillar in success is that most people can't do this on their own. And I don't mean agents. I mean just in general. Business in general. They can't do it on their own, meaning they don't have the guidance, the support. They don't have anybody in their corner. They sit behind a desk at night while the wife or girlfriend is watching Netflix and asking them to come watch with them and hang out with them because they're lonely. Right? Just giving you scenarios here. And they have nobody on the other side of the shoulder that's like, man, don't forget tomorrow. We're meeting tomorrow. We're meeting and you were supposed to do X, Y, and Z. Did you do it yet? Did you do it yet? And so people are missing that mentor. And I'm going to fix that in this industry. Martino, what's going on, Martino? I brought you back. I hope so, man. Yeah, so no, we're live. Sorry, sir, being 100% genuine. I say flip my life, man. Well, listen, you flipped your life. You flipped it. I did nothing because 99.9% of people who watch this content don't do anything. So if you are that 0.01%, that's all on you. Martino, I'm not doing any rank and rent. Um, I just don't do it. I haven't done it since 2015 maybe. I think 14 or 15. Uh, just not into that business model. It works, by the way. Kevin, yes, I do have a course. Yes. I have anonymous. Yeah, that's fine. I said business model is a business model. What people just need to do is pick one and stop jumping around all the time. You pick a business model. I did it all. I did drop shipping. I did MLMs. I did online MLMs with I can't remember the name of that one with so that weird guy. He was like from Costa Rica. Um and drop shipping, and then ordering my own stuff from China and running Facebook ads, and it was all part of my journey, and nothing really worked until I saw the agency thing, and that was 2014. The agency thing just, which actually started with rank and rent. But in the end, it's just working with local businesses. It's a logical business. I didn't have to hide it from my friends and family. I wasn't embarrassed to tell them that I had, that I would have to, I started this new MLM and I'm going to order all the juice. And why don't you come and join me? And so this was something I could talk about. It made me feel smart because ultimately businesses just don't know this game. $1 million businesses, startup businesses, $100 million businesses. They don't know the marketing game. They just don't. Juan Carlos retracted a message. Yeah, so Kevin, I do have a course, and again, this isn't really about pushing that, but one of the things that is, you can get foundational stuff by getting on a Go High Level trial. All right, that link is probably down below. It's highlevelrewards.com. That'll get you into like just here's what local marketing is. These are kind of the services that we have. Here's how to use the software, a full training on that software. You can get all of that for free with the support group that goes live twice a week in school. That's just kind of like you know, the reason why I do that is because a lot of people go through that. I get paid from Go High Level if you continue on that trial. So my ultimate goal is to get you a result so you stay with the software. Makes sense, right? And then people want more help, and then they join our coaching program, which then they actually send up into our mentorship program. And that's ultimately where really big results happen. They happen in the main coaching, and they happen in the mentorship. Mentorship, all that is that one-on-one um, with our own agency CEOs for 8 weeks. And our results in our coaching program, because of the mentorship, has increased ridiculously drastically. Again, because somebody is in your corner, poking you, giving you things to do. When you're doing something wrong, they tell you you're doing something wrong. There's nothing better than that, right? Every athlete has a coach. Every student has a teacher. And this online game is the only thing that it's like, here you go, have fun, good luck. Do you recommend selling just AI employee? How would that look? Service or software? AI employee is, I you could sell any feature you want as a service. I don't like to sell features because features can be canceled. I mean, services obviously can too, but you, when you rely on the business owner to run a feature in their business, they will stop running it because it's the law of diminishing returns. If they have to step out of their business, their day-to-day activities, to figure out this AI employee, they won't deploy it. They won't get ready. Now you could charge, hey, I'm gonna charge you $1,000 to set up this AI employee. Here's what it's gonna do, blah, 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 blah. And then what's gonna happen is, then you let them run with it, and then they're like confused when this like bot is answering questions, and they're like, get this stupid thing off of my, I don't want this thing anymore. It doesn't make any sense. It doesn't know my business, it doesn't know crap. So the service with that is the AI bot, for $4.97 a month, is that I'm going to continuously teach it, right? I'm going to continuously uh, allow it to learn about your business, the changes in your business, everything about your business. It's a long process. It takes a long time. So I can run it for you. And then at the end, you provide the reports or the screenshots of the conversations with that employee is having, and you do the checking. That's the service, is that you do the checking, you meet with them once a week. Because if you don't do that, they will cancel it. It is a fact. And I don't care what guru on the internet wants to sell you a pipe dream about how all you have to do is sell 100 businesses this AI employee for 297 a month, and that's 30 grand a month. Let me tell you guys something. If you haven't been on this channel before, nobody wants 100 clients. I rather, for 30 grand a month, I rather have 10 clients at 5 grand a month, or 20 clients, right, at 3 grand a month. And then that's your service. And that gives you enough money to hire like an account manager they're the one that's talking to, obviously in the beginning it's going to be you, but that gives you enough money, you pay somebody 3 grand a month, they'll be happy. And they'll handle all of the clients. They'll meet with the clients. They'll go to their shops if you want to. Virtual assistants, you can do 2,000 a month, 1,000 a month. Juan Carlos, I know the name. Yeah, so Super Saiyan Society, I answered that. I will turn every feature into a service, because when they don't need you, they don't pay you. So yeah, you can sell AI employee, but turn it into a service. You can sell missed call text back for $2 a month if you want. I keep seeing people talk about missed call text back. That ain't gonna work either, by the way. That's not gonna work either, because they're not gonna change their main phone number. Businesses don't want to change their phone number. Businesses should not change their main phone number, by the way. Chandler is currently a teacher as well, trying to use GoHighLevel, sell websites, but I haven't gotten any clients yet. Thinking of shifting into doing ads now. Yeah, I mean, you could listen. Selling websites is great. Yo, you want to know how to sell a website? Do a website audit. Like, go on to Google and find crappy websites, build it and go high level, because they have so many they have so many of those templates. And like, go grab a plumbing template, find a crappy plumbing thing, screenshot it, send them an email on Instagram, also send them a message on Instagram. Hey, I noticed your site is out of date. I built you a new one. You want to jump on the phone and talk? I mean, we call that we were really what did we call that? I don't want to say, maybe it was website arbitrage, where you do a free site audit, which is like, is it mobile friendly? How fast does it take to load? What page is it on in Google? Do they have an opt-in form right on the top, or is it hard to find it? Is their phone number a click to call? Do they have a Facebook pixel on it? Like all these things, and you can create a checklist. Maybe I'll do a YouTube video on this one, actually. Website arbitrage. Guys, I've been doing this for so many years that, like, if I go back into my archives, not to mention between my business partner and I, we probably have 10,000 training videos, just things that like we would put into this course, right? Same course that we've been selling, right? But we've made it better and better as things changed. And so, like, for example, website arbitrage was one of our prospecting methods that we used. And actually, GoHighLevel makes it even better now, because you can create a plumbing website in 2 seconds, and like literally just screenshot it and use that as your prospecting method. Cold email it to 10 plumbers and say, hey, this is what your website looks like. This is what it can look like. Email me back to find out how to get it. Chandler, what do you teach? I'm going to have to get home soon, guys, or I'm never going to fall asleep. Cyan Scenes. What's the first niche? I would tell you that go back to the beginning of this live and listen to me talk about niche. because I'm not into picking a niche. It's not. I guess I'll repeat it. When you're first starting, I would not pick a niche. Let me see if I can pull up a slide because this is like the most common question that people ask. And I get it. I get why. It's like people are like, I don't want to do all of the work. I want to pick a niche first before I actually start my business because it's like, what if I want to change my niche, blah, blah. But you're forgetting all of the stuff that you learned anyway. Like if you find out that you hate working with you hate working with the niche that you chose, right? And it was 60 days later, and you're like, you know what? I landed a client. I can't stand towing, which by the way is very common. We have people who what we used to do was actually start everybody in towing, and then they realize, "Ugh, I hate towing. And that's cool because now that's off the table, and now they can go to the next one, right? But let me see if I can pull up this slide so I don't like go off on a tangent here. Um, how would I find this thing? Bum, 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 bum. Let me type in niche here. Choosing a niche. Could this be it? Yeah, I don't like that graphic. I remade it. Oh, you know what? I think it's here. Uh, you know what? I don't think it's on this one either. I have so many presentations that I don't even know where anything is. Where would I have done this? Oh, I think it's this one. I think this is it. Yes, this is it. So let me see if I could share my screen. Can I share my screen on YouTube? This isn't the one I want either. Damn it. I like redid this whole niche sheet, but what the heck would I have done it with? I don't know. I don't feel like looking for this thing. Essentially, what we want to do is we want to, I'm almost positive I did do this. This is like the new VSL that I'm going to be actually launching. It's got to be here. I know it has to be. Yes, here it is. All right, cool. I'll let you guys in on since you're live. Nobody has seen this presentation before. All right, so how do I find my live back? Where are you live? When you're just starting and want to be confident in showing the value, it's a lot of information for the client. Yeah, Kevin. Yeah. So how do I share? Let me see. Share screen. Let me just share this. You guys have probably seen this, right? This is the framework, and we're niche prospecting, and so I talk about this. 90% of agencies cannot make a niche decision, so I can solve this in 60 seconds. So you have your generalist and a specialist, right? Your generalist is like you have a much bigger pool of people to land as clients. The opportunities are abundant, great for learning, great for early agencies. It allows the agency owner to identify who they actually want to specialize in, right? So you have your generalist and specialist. Generalist, you take on all the opportunities, family, friends, local businesses, people you walk into, people you hire in your own house. You take on them all. Find out who you love, and then you can move into the specialist. Generalist cons is the monthly retainers are generally smaller, harder to create a process. So if I'm working with a plumber, it's a different, it's a whole different process than if I'm working with a electrician. When I say process, I shouldn't say that. The landing pages, if you're running ads, the ad copy is different, things like that. When you're anyway, I'll get into it. You can only duplicate about 60 to 70% of the process. All right. And you don't become an expert in that niche because you're working with multiple niches. So I want you to think like primary care physician, generalist, $100 to $200 a patient versus a heart doctor, specialist, $30 to $200,000 a patient, right? And so a specialist pro is that the pros of a specialist is you charge higher prices. You can duplicate it across different clients. So if I'm running ads for a mortgage loan officer in Wayne, New Jersey, I can literally run the almost 98% exact ads if they're doing well in Connecticut, in California. The cost will be higher in California. In Utah and Montana, get where I'm in Colorado, get where I'm going with this. You can duplicate the process. You can easily train someone else to do the work because it's the same process every time you land a new client. Then as a specialist, you become the go-to in that niche. So you have the authority and you already identified the love for the niche, meaning I work with this niche. I've worked with 10 different niches. And by the way, I've had 32 clients in 32 different niches at one point. Okay. Until we fell in love. And in the beginning, it was make money, make money, make money. Then it was like, we're making money. I hate working with you. I hate working with you, and you. But you, I love you, pain management doctor, mortgage loan officer. I love you guys are great. Ran ads for you too, and lawyers. I love. So we actually never niched completely down. We were just running 3 very high profitable niches, but we started off by running through 32 different types of businesses. The cons of it is the market is much smaller. So I can't land 10 clients in Wayne, New Jersey 10 chiropractors in Wayne, New Jersey. So you do as a specialist need to learn to run ads because you're going to be competing with each other. Your clients are going to compete with each other. Makes no sense, right? I should put that in here. Market is smaller. Your clients can't compete with each other. I'll reword that. Less opportunities without running ads, pay traffic, and you have to go outside your local area. Okay. So that's the cons. And so what do you do? So this is the way I look at it. This is what we call the niche pyramid. Beginner agencies, zero, you could say zero to 5K a month. You should be working with a lot of niches. Okay. So you're going to move up the triangle. When you get to about 5 to 20,000 a month, you're going to notice that there's a decrease in what different niches you're working with. And scaling agencies, right, to like, let's say a run rate of $1 million a year, you most likely will only work with one niche. Okay. But you're a scaling agency. You're not a beginner. You're not a smaller. Like, you know what the hell you're doing, but you got to start somewhere. And so beginner agencies, when it comes to finding a niche, no, just take the opportunities that come your way. Family, friends, acquaintances. Maybe you were an electrician. I don't know. And then you became like a teacher, right? And you got all this free time like I had. I didn't really have a lot of free time, but I was a teacher, not making enough money. And so I had the time to build a side hustle business. But maybe like you're an electrician, you became a teacher, you have more time in your hands. Well, you should be working with electricians because you have experience in that. Right. So you start to move up the pyramid. So you move up in experience and you reduce, right? Get smaller, the amount of niches that you work with. So you don't choose. The business will choose you, or the niche will choose you. So you start taking on all opportunities. You'll find the niches you love and the niches you hate. And then you'll find the niches that you do great in and the niches that you struggle with. And that's how you become a specialist. That's the process. And actually, if we look at like Todd, right? He's built 160 that during the pandemic. He built $160,000 per month. He was a student of ours, is a student of ours in the real estate niche. But he had tons of clients and tons of different niches until he became a specialist. Joe Zarati also hit $1 million, and he helps PI lawyers retain more clients. Still does to this day. Woo! I showed you guys something I haven't shown anybody yet. All right, so how do I stop sharing this? Yeah, Zion, that's a good way to put it. It's the network in the beginning, whatever your network is. Uh, like in that video with the slide, you talked about the referral from, yeah, absolutely. So, the ultimate goal is get that win as fast as you can with any niche that you can find. Because like think about it. Let's just think about this because this is a very important piece. And I'm gonna hone in on this. I don't got much time left, but I always hone in on this on a lot of the videos. It's like imagine I have by the way, even as a marketer, I'm very bad at analogies. I don't know why. I wish I'd have to like pre-plan my analogies, which sucks. I wish I could like they just roll off my tongue. But actually, I got one. So imagine you're a baker. Okay, you go into the kitchen and you want to bake a cake, and the ingredients, think of them like niches. And so in order to bake the cake, I have 5 different ingredients. But prior to baking the cake, I said, I'm only working with chocolate. I hate flour. I am deathly afraid of eggs, right? You get where I'm going with this? And salt, forget it, and sugar, I ain't touching it. Well, can you bake the cake with just chocolate? No, you can't. You need all the ingredients. So that's probably a really bad analogy. But the point is that like if you pick a niche in a PI lawyer, right? And then over dinner, a pain manager, your friend is very good friends with the pain management doctor, and he's like, "Listen," he goes, "This guy struggles so much. He's wasted so much money. I know you think you can help him. What are you gonna say? Nope, I'm not gonna try to land that $5,000 a month client because I only work with PI lawyers." Now, at some point, right? At some point, sure, you could say no to clients, but nobody probably listen to this is in that position to do that. And so that's why in the beginning we got the niche pyramid, and you should always in the beginning at that foundation take on as many different niches until you become the specialist, and that again reduces the niches and then reduces it again. That's when you become a specialist. Steph, yeah. Cyan scenes, I appreciate it. Definitely far from the goat. Super Saiyan, no, but if you look on my YouTube, like you'll see that I have talked about this stuff. This is a brand new presentation that I've spent it's like 190 slides that I spent like the last 2 weeks working on. Probably my best one yet. So when I'm done with it and I have it on a landing page, I'll, most likely post it on my YouTube channel. Maybe I'll post the whole presentation actually. And then maybe I'll run traffic to that. I gotta think about how to do this. Um, yeah, I hope that that analogy makes a lot of sense. Kevin, did I answer this? So yes, Google reviews is a foot in the door. Again, uh, the way we teach it is yes, Google reviews because it's an extremely highly sought after service that business owners know they need help with, don't know the process to do it, and just want somebody to systemize it for them and will gladly pay monthly for it. And then you start to upsell into those higher packages. Now, some people choose not to, right? Some people, I have, again, I've been teaching this since 2017, and I've had every walk of life come into our coaching program. People who I thought would never build be able to do this and somehow did. And then people were like, "Oh, this guy's a home run. He's going to crush it." And did nothing. So I learned along the way, never ever judge a book by its cover ever. And so while the industries have changed, the process stays the same. So you can insert foot in the door service, AI employee, right? Now you have GoHighLevel, you have AI employee, you have so many different features that you should turn into a service, but there is nothing easier and nothing better than literally getting a list from a potential client and not charge them anything, get 50 of the last customers, shoot him an email with the process that I've taught 1,000 times on this channel, or in if you grab a Go High Level trial, the link is in the description. Or you upgrade, if you already have Go High Level, then I give you access to the stuff I mentioned earlier, private community, and some foundational trainings and stuff like that. But the main reason people actually want what I just talked about is because Go High Level is difficult, and the training that I have is geared toward marketing agency owners. And so you don't have to learn all the jumbo mumbo stuff that is in there. You just have to learn what you need to run your agency. Yeah, Amazon Business is FBA, Amazon FBA, and all that stuff. I've seen too many ugly things in that industry, and there's ugly things in many industries. Amazon FBA is like, these guys are charging. Some of these guys are like done for you Amazon stores. They steal your money, take all your retirement savings, and then they get sued by the government. But they've already made all their money and spent all. That's what these guys do, because it's easy, free money. Easy, free money when you don't have to work for it goes by fast. All right, guys, I am shocked. I loved it that you guys showed up today, even though I think I've had at some point 20 something people on. That's awesome. Maybe I need to do this later at night, because the earlier ones that I did um, were garbage. Although next week, I am going to be live with the owner of Go High Level. Ironically enough, if I don't forget, I thought it was tonight. Um, and I'm going to be interviewing him on this channel live. Sean, his name is, the co-owner of Go High Level, because he actually, funny enough, um, even though he's built this, him and his team has built this behemoth. Do you know that Go High Level started? The whole point of Go High Level, a lot of you guys, if you know what Go High Level is, all it was in the beginning was to help businesses get more reviews. That was the foundation of Go High Level. And it wasn't until one of the other co-owners said to them, wow, this is pretty cool, but I also need this, 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 and this. And they went, they built it, and they're like, oh, now we can auto follow up, and we can email and text. And the guy's like, wow. He's like, he had a big agency, and he's like, um, I'll tell you what, if you let me be partners with you guys, I'll be able to tell you everything that agencies need and more. And Go High Level was built. All right, guys, have a good night. I will see you if you want to join on my live next week. That is 7. Let me just check my calendar. That's 7. This for especially for people um that are watching the replay on this. Let me just check this out. Wait, what am I doing? I got to go to my calendar. What time is my meeting with him? Come on. 7:30. So, yeah. So 7:30, around 7. Is it 7:30? Yeah. Sean Clark will be on. Co-owner of, and I'm gonna ask him a bunch of questions. I'm gonna ask him hard questions too. All right, guys. Appreciate you all, and we'll see you next week.